So we're into assignment 3. Is everyone confident with assignment 3? Do you have a good idea of what it's going to be? I've kind of been talking about it for a bit.
Is there like a height limit?
No, not really.
Is it a house with a cinema or cinema that has a house?
It's both. So, you've got yourself a writer, a director, or an animator. You've made them a house. You've either made them a film library, a place to make films, or a place to write films. And now we need to add a place for all those people, those clients, to show off their films and films that they like. And what type of space would you show films off in? A cinema, right? So, in terms of space, do people feel like they're running out of space already with the house? Yeah? Penny seems okay. It's like, yeah, it's okay.
I'm just getting fed up with it.
You're getting fed up with what?
The rectangles.
The rectangles? You want to, in terms of what?
It's just that it has to be a vertical rectangle that faces in a certain way.
Pardon?
Because the rectangle has to face in a certain way to face in front. So
Right. You're just fed up of rotating things?
No, they can't move it. It's just a rectangle, your plan.
It's always a rectangle.
Yeah.
The site?
Yes.
Do you want to change your site?
No, because everyone else is rectangle as well.
No, there's some people who don't have rectangles. You don't have to swap.
Might be interesting.
If you want to swap things up and have your site changed, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, you think about it? Okay. So, are people running out of space? You feel? I haven't really looked too deeply into it, but who's gone 2-story? Who needed to go 2-story? And you weren't the writer, you weren't the animator? No? So you had to go 2-story, you ran out of space? Okay, now, huh? You went downwards? Okay, that's fine, that's 2 stories. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach the cinema to the house. And when I say attach, I don't mean like a carbuncle, just stuck on. We have to integrate the two designs now, okay? You've got scripts that have made your house, and so you shouldn't be that difficult to start changing the design to respond to the cinema, but you effectively take the brief of the cinema and the brief of the house, pull those two briefs together, and it was 50 people, right, for the cinema? If I say 100 people, is that going to scare you? That's a really good question, right? So how do you have these two things work together? I would imagine that a Sydney-sider here, may have once lived in an apartment that was attached to a shop. Anyone?
Yes.
You have? Okay, so there are things that exist where you've got different functions in the same building, okay? The key thing is, how do you make something that's public, and also how do you make something that is private and have them exist as the same building? So you don't necessarily have to enter a building through the front door and go, oh, do I go to the bathroom, the bedroom, or the cinema? There's obviously going to be functional challenges involved. But if I said 100 people in the cinema, is that going to scare people or not? Does it seem, huh?
Not really. If you remove the leg space.
Leg space?
Yeah.
What, you'd go in the Jetstar route?
Jetstar, that's it.
Okay, Tiger Air route.
Oh, yeah, it's worse.
So you think 100 people would fit in a cinema on the site?
Yeah, I reckon.
150?
No, that would be pushing it.
Okay, 150, that's the brief. I'm joking. No, we'll do 100. Okay? So 100, we need a 100-person cinema and the same house that you did. And in terms of brief, and it needs to fit on the site. Now, for this particular assignment, I've got a whole half a semester to go through the scripts that you wrote for assignment 2 and assignment 1 and just start finding where you can improve with those. And I'm going to give you feedback. I felt like I could have done it over the break, but there's just so many of you. So we can work on the scripts through that. But what a big focus of this would be the presentation. Okay, so there's a 5-minute presentation at the end that we will be doing in place of a lecture and a tutorial. What's this for? That's strange. So 5-minute presentation. So we'll probably have to do some of them in here and some of them upstairs, but we'll get through everyone. And I would like one person to also comment per person. Okay, so I'm going to give feedback, verbal feedback, and Julie's going to give verbal feedback, and then one of you is going to get given another person, and it would be nice to that person to watch that person's film to also give feedback. And we'll do that randomly, okay? So it's not going to be like Romany and Sophie and Simona and Shelda. It's going to be... I don't know who you're friends with, so it's just random. Who are you friends with? Like, do I have to go through each person and find out? It's just random. And the thing is, even if you're friends, being critical is important. Like, I would much rather my friends in this environment give me critical feedback. I would be hoping that you guys are giving each other critical feedback right now, not like encouraging that, but more so I just feel like that crit session at the end, it's good to include people, plus it kind of stops people from disappearing. Yeah? Especially if you stick around. You won't be marked on turning up and giving like being there and commenting, but if you're not there, I won't be happy. And, okay, cool. And the verbal presentation is going to come with like a PowerPoint or a PDF type thing, and I would like that to be delivered using the same method that I've delivered some of the lectures to you guys, using HTML and JavaScript. Cool? Not cool? The presentation must be delivered through HTML and JavaScript. And to avoid any, mind-blowing stress when it comes to learning how to do that, we're going to start that now. Okay? And the reason I want to do this is I feel that computational design, I believe that computational design is not just about using Grasshopper. And a lot of the concepts that you guys have been learning, they are applicable to other tools like Dynamo. You've been learning Python. A lot of you would be actually quite good at creating this presentation using Python. It's just learning how the HTML and JavaScript are required for it. There's only a few of you who haven't touched HTML now. You do? You have touched it? So you know a little bit of HTML? Used to? No HTML at all? Just a little bit? So these guys, they were expected by Rob to make a website for one of the submissions. I saw some of them. Some of them were actually quite phenomenal. So it's a good thing. Yeah? So the really important thing here is just to sort of play around with deliveries, if you were to make a PowerPoint, every time I see someone stick a bloody video in a PowerPoint, it never works. And every time I see someone stick, hey man, every time someone makes a PDF for a presentation, it doesn't actually allow them to run videos. And videos isn't everything. You've got hyperlinks and you can actually do some really interesting things with presentations. Hence why, plus you've got people in Mac and you've got different methods of that. So HTML is a really good way of unifying everyone together in a single platform. I'm effectively going to take what you guys produce and we will host it on the website so that I can go through it when we review your marks. So it's just I feel like it's a better way of delivering it, and the actual learning curve on how to make it work is quite small, okay? So you're all using, what's your IDE? What IDE did Rob expect you to use to make your website? Sublime. So everyone here has Sublime Text 3 or 2. Who doesn't have it? Cool. So if you jump on the internet right now, look up Sublime Text 3.
How about Dreamweaver?
No, keep away from that at the moment. For now. It makes things, it simplifies things.
Word has an HTML.
Yeah. This is Sublime Text. You can get it from Sublime Text 3. Let's do it. Everyone else has got it? It shouldn't take long to download. It shouldn't take long to install. You've got Sublime Text?
Sublime Text?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you've been using Atom as well. You can use that as well, but if I like using Sublime Text, so I use Sublime Text.
When is this due?
This is due the 18th of October.
Huh? That's like next week.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's not due then.
That's literally like
Did I look at assignment 2?
that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it says 18th. We'll change that.
Let's change it to
It's not next week. It's the week after.
that's in 2 weeks.
That doesn't seem right.
I think like
What week is it this week?
10.
10.
Sorry, it should be the 28th of October. The 18th. Is that week 13?
Yeah.
So what week is it this week?
It's week 10.
Wait, what?
It's week 10.
It's 4. Why is it 11 on the day?
11 is next week.
That's okay. So yeah, it'll be the week after the 18th.
So 25th.
Do you know when your parody session is? Yeah, do you know when it is?
25th.
So you reckon it's the 25th?
I heard Nicole saying something about it.
We can change it.
It looks like it'll be due, the 18th. This term is only 3 weeks.
Yeah, basically. Is everyone goes and
Pardon?
It's because I have 2 weeks break and
If parody is on the guys, if parody's on the 25th, if it's on the 25th, then we'll keep it on the 18th. Otherwise, if it's not, do you want to present on the 25th?
yeah. So submit on the 25th.
Pardon?
Submit
Submit means you come in and you'd have to do a 5-minute presentation.
Okay. Yeah.
But the actual script is due.
The script is also due that day.
Oh.
Let me look into it.
Just doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem like much time, does it?
No, that's literally in 2 weeks. We've got next week. and
They kind of
after
fucked
that-
it all over, didn't they? They didn't put the break halfway. And it's probably because of the public holiday. Okay. Well, hopefully like I can handle it if it's the 25th. Like I'm happy to do it on the 25th. But the thing is, if you've got some other event that you have to do on the 25th.
Apparently it says from 23rd to 27th. So
Yeah, that's me. Like I don't know when. That's me going.
26th.
It's on that week. Yeah? Okay. Well, we'll aim for the 18th to 25th. Okay? I'll work it out. Okay? They don't tell me much. It seems like they don't tell you much either. What are we doing? Sublime. Okay, so I've been using a system called reveal.js. So in HTML, there's kind of 4 sort of factors to a HTML or a website. There's the HTML, right, which is there's the HTML. It's kind of the thing that gets delivered. You download it. It gives your browser some code, and your browser displays stuff, right? In it, you can have JavaScript, which is the code that runs on your computer. You can have CSS, meaning cascading style sheets, which is the thing that applies like an appearance to the website. And then there are server-based codes. So for example, in the wiki that I've set up for you, that uses a PHP backend. And so your computer doesn't actually do any thinking that too much. Instead, it just sends information to the server code, and the server code runs, and hence you get like a page that gives me your assignment. Okay? So really the 3 more important ones when we're going to write these presentations are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So fortunately, when it comes to JavaScript, when you go onto a website and it runs JavaScript, you're actually downloading that JavaScript, and there's nothing stopping you from seeing that JavaScript, okay? So I could spend like a year developing a JavaScript thing, chuck it on my website, you go on my website, go, oh, this function's cool, I'm gonna steal it, right? And there's nothing stopping you from doing that because it's being downloaded onto your machine and your computer's running it. So all of the sort of JavaScript-y type communities are usually open source, and everything that they do is usually free. So in this case, if we are writing a code, if we're using reveal.js, we can assume 2 things. 1 is it's open source, and 2 is it's free. Okay? So go check out, just Google reveal.js. I'll do it too. So the website will most likely bring up like a presentation explaining what it is. Yeah? Do you see this? Yep, okay. And so we don't want to try the online editor because that's how they worked out how to make money from it. What we want is source code and documentation. Or actually, let's just do the hack way. So if they're delivering us JavaScript, if we right-click the web page and say view page source, we can see here there's a link sort of 75% of the way through to reveal.js, and that's the actual code that they're running to make the website do a slideshow. Okay, so we can either save this, or if we go back, like saving it's probably not a good idea because if we download the whole source code, then we get everything. Most people familiar with GitHub? Yeah? Ben got you onto it? Has Rob spoken about it? Okay. No? Yes, no? Yes, okay. Simona just wasn't at that presentation. Okay. That's cool, that's fun. Okay, we just want up here, we want clone or download. We're going to download the zip. Save it, and that will download Reveal for us, okay? And we're going to start a presentation now, because seeing as you've only got 2 weeks to do this. Well, if it's not 2, it's 3. So seeing as you've only got 3 weeks to do this, I might change the assignment if it's only 3 or 2. Pardon? No, that's the important part.
No cinema. Make us build one thing.
Yeah, see, the main focus of this particular assignment is the communication. So we want to see your drawings. So shall we seeing as you've just done the house, let's do the house. Pardon? Yeah.
Can we change it? We didn't like no cinema.
You can definitely change it. Does that sound better? Because I feel like I'm not going to get any good results from you guys if we make this hard. Yeah? You don't care? Huh? I'd leave it. You know what we're doing? Okay.
No, he changed it before you came in.
Yeah.
Where? What did I? You don't know what I did. Okay. Yeah, he's fine. He likes a challenge. Okay, so we've got let's assume we've got 2 weeks. Let's spend 2 weeks to focus on the house.
What, so just
No cinema. To be honest, the thing is, pardon?
What about like an indoor cinema?
Just, we've got 2 weeks, and I would like I thought we had a little bit longer, and I was going to focus on both bringing those two things together and also presenting techniques. So going over some Photoshop, going over some Illustrator, going over this, but I feel like there's not enough time. And the thing is, if I try and cram everything in, the quality is not going to be as good. Like in terms of the quality of teaching, it's not going to be as good. Does that make sense? Like I can rush through, if I rush through teaching you guys Grasshopper, there's no point in me doing it. Yeah?
Maybe skip the Adobe part, like Photoshop and Illustrator.
Yeah, but you know Photoshop and Illustrator. Other people don't.
We've done it in Nicole's class.
Have you?
Yeah. He came in and taught us
Who's he?
Photoshop. Who's he? The guy. We had a Photoshop lesson.
You know my opinion of other people's like teaching. I don't even know him. I don't trust it. I don't know. This is something that you guys can give me feedback on in terms of what would you like me to focus on over the next 2 weeks. You've got me for 2 to 3 weeks, right? I'm going to teach you how to do this today, be it in this lecture or in the tutorial that we're going to do this. What else? What would you like? Because the thing is, when I say focusing on Photoshop and Illustrator, I'm talking about doing plans, sections, and elevations well. You know what I mean? And it's still something that we haven't actually gone over, and something that I did say that I was going to talk about this semester. And it was meant to be in this assignment that we talk about it. First assignment gave you a chance of getting there. Shall we? Okay, so we're going to take second assignment. We're going to modify it. We're going to make it better if you feel like it should. I think you should. You've got the opportunity to. But now you've got time to produce drawings and present. Yeah? Does that sound good? Yeah? I see a smile. Huh? You happy? Okay. Okay. Is that, because the thing is, I'm not here to try and make you like stress out. I'm here to teach you stuff. Yeah? Cool. I know there's people out there that are trying to make you stress. Especially in architecture. Huh?
Whoever designed the submission dates, like whoever set it up.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes that's just like, oh, we'll just make it this date. Okay, we've worked it out. That's what we're doing, okay? So assignment 3 is advancement of assignment 2, but with drawings and a presentation, okay? Drawing doesn't mean pencil, but it can mean pencil, okay? So I was going to go over Photoshop and Illustrator, and with that, you can do something like what Penny has done with her first assignment, which was sort of augmenting and bringing 2 mediums together. Mind you, she didn't actually do any painting, but I know some of you have some drawing skills, and there's nothing stopping you from drawing trees and photoshopping them in, and we'll talk about how to do that. Okay, back to Reveal. So I've downloaded Reveal. And my download folder's huge. So we're going to make a folder. I'm going to call this presentation. And there's really no need to make like a local server or anything. Was Rob getting you guys to sort of set up virtual machines and local servers and stuff? Yeah, we don't really need to do that. Like, it doesn't need to be that complicated. I'm going to put Reveal in here. And in Reveal, really the 2 most important things are the JavaScript and the CSS. Okay? So we're just going to copy them out and put them back in the base folder of our presentation. So there's JavaScript and CSS. But what you can see in this Reveal.js master, there's an index file there. And if you open that up, like there's a 2-slide example Yeah. Now, just to point out, no one's ever actually taught me HTML, and no one's taught me JavaScript. Okay, and I'm more so talking you guys through some of the processes that I went through to learn how to use Reveal, because the thing is, the information to learn is there. Okay, so there's almost like an attitude of, well, you know, dive in and work. Like, if you can start nutting it out, you can nut it out. So if I just copy the index HTML as well back into the main folder, that should run not so well, but it runs. And we're going to open index HTML into Sublime. So those of you who did not have Sublime, we'll install it, and fortunately, because it's a HTML document, it'll run through a few. It'll give you this sort of like multicolored coding environment. Most of you are familiar with that. It changes, so if you're writing in Python, you can set it to read Python. If you're writing in MATLAB, then it will color it for MATLAB, that type of thing. Yeah, C#, etc. Blah blah blah. No. Yeah, go on. Yeah. What?
What can you do with Python in here?
Everything.
As in, like, in this particular presentation?
Oh, you mean if you use Python to make this,
Yeah.
what can you use?
Yeah, I mean...
So Python, okay, so Python can actually run websites.
Yeah.
So Python can run on a server, and the server can deliver, Python can deliver HTML, okay? So like in Python, you can write print hello, yeah? And so, you know, when you run it, the command line says hello, and you've made your, like a polite little Python code, right? But you could make Python print HTML, right? So if you can do that, you can deliver websites with Python. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there are modules in Python for templating. There's one called Ginger. That's the one that I use. Ginger as in not my hair color, but Ginger as in Jinja, the Japanese temple. And if you download and install that, you can set up HTML templates. So for example, you could create a title template, and then all you have to do is call that template, tell it what you want to put in it, and you can quite easily make a title page. So you could template the slides you could create templates of slides, and then you could just say, you know, make a title slide, put this content in, and it will make the title slide.
Okay, so instead of using the HTML and the CSS, you could just edit.
Instead of using HTML and CSS, you can write in Python HTML, and you would still use CSS. There'd be no point. Like CSS is kind of like you write the rules once, you can then use them over and over and over again. Yeah? So we can see here you guys can actually use this file to start your presentation, and really the grunt of everything exists in here in terms of the content that's being delivered to me or your presentees, okay? And I feel like it wasn't working because we forgot to copy this thing here, head min.js. So we're going to go back in and just copy lib from the JS. So we want to also copy lib. Refresh our web page. Okay, now we've got slide 1. Cool. So under div class slide, these sections are effectively slides, okay? Super simple. So, am I losing people? No? Am I losing you guys? Kind of? Going a bit too fast?
Yeah,
Where are you up to?
I have no clue what the copy things.
What to copy? Okay, we want to copy JS, CSS, and lib, and index HTML.
To where
Just the base folder.
and what is the base for?
So, okay, what I did was I made a folder called presentation, and I just put reveal into that. But we just want to extract out of reveal the exact things that we want, which is CSS lib JS, and then they've got a nice little demo file called index HTML. Cool. No, so the index file is HTML, right? And so that's the script that we opened up. It's not really, that's index. If you open index HTML up in Sublime, you should see this. If you open it up without opening it in Sublime, it'll open a web page. Yep. Cool. We're back. Everyone's there now? Yep, we need JS, CSS, lib, and index. Okay, so you can see here these types of things where it says script, source, lib.js, head, min.js, and script, source, JS, reveal, JS. That's the web page loading those particular JavaScripts into the page. And the key thing that we're interested in terms of making our own presentation is these slides. So what they do is they define sections as slides. So if I change slide 1 to code 1240 and save it and refresh the page, I now get code 1240. Simple. So you know how to make titles now. So this necessarily might not be a title. Does anyone know the actual tagging to make titles in HTML? Head what? Like you can have different levels of head? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if we want to apply some styling to that, we just put that in head 1. So that will, and the thing is you can just go look up HTML formatting titles, and whatever website out there is going to tell you how to do that. And if you don't know how to do lists, it'll tell you how to do lists, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm expecting that you guys are just going to give me titles and images, right? Maybe videos, maybe a GIF, maybe, right? So we'll just cap that title off. Yep.
Is aesthetic part of criteria?
Aesthetic of the presentation, definitely. So if I refresh, we've got a big, bold title now. So those of you who have been playing around with HTML already should be fairly familiar with how to start making these presentations look the way that you want them to. Cool? Cool? Yeah, okay, so this is where CSS is important, right? Some of you might not want the whole sort of like dark grey background, white font look. Yeah? So we can see in CSS under theme, they've actually produced some themes for us, and we can go through and edit those. And I'm not necessarily expecting you guys to be masters at that, but it's worth delving into that just to change some colors and maybe a font or two. You remember how fonts are important? And where to get some free ones? Google? Yep. So we can see here there's one called beige. I imagine it's boring. But beige CSS, if we wanted to change our page to take beige CSS, we can see here we've got CSS theme black CSS. Okay? If I change black to beige, save that and refresh the page, I now get the beige styling. Cool? It was that easy, right? Yeah?
That's actually really nice.
Huh?
That's a nice.
You like that? Yeah. So it's quite, sometimes you have to rely on other people to make you the styles. But the thing is, once someone's made a style, it's usable everywhere. So like CSS is very powerful. If we go to CSS examples, we can see, so see this website? It's full of content. The content, that we've got a title here, The Road to Enlightenment, and it talks about littering in the dark and a dreary road. The style of the website is defined by CSS. I can change the style of the site by changing its CSS. This is now the same website with a different CSS applied to it. Okay? Or, these are somewhat advanced. But what are we doing? We'll pick a different design. Or a robot named Jimmy. So that, this is where website designers and website content creators have sort of started to work out how to split themselves up. So they can apply these different rules to each thing. Do you remember how we had paragraph styles in InDesign? So you could apply a paragraph style to something and that thing would then have that style applied to it, and if you change the style, everything with it applied would change. It just works the same with CSS. So in the terms of title, when we said, okay, make this beige a title, there's somewhere in that CSS, it's looking for something that says H1, and it's saying apply these rules to H1, just like a paragraph style. Okay? So, we've got styling, we've got titles, and that last most probably important thing is images. Okay. So, if we go back to the Reveal webpage, like the one that they do their presentations, there's they actually go over what is required to put in an image background, which is basically filling the whole screen with an image, and that's most likely what you guys are going to be doing, right? It's very rare for someone to ever put more than one image on a screen during a presentation, because big and important images get thrown up and we can look at them. If you want more than one image on the screen, just make an image with 2 images in it. So all we have to do is apply a property to each section which defines the background. Okay? So that's this text here. So in this case, for our section here, we can say give that a property data background image PNG. Now I don't have any image in my folder called image PNG, so when I run this, it's not going to show anything. There's two ways that we can put images in. We can either have them on our computer or we can host them on the internet. So if I just quickly go grab an image from the internet, so let's go crazy cat. None of these are up to standard. Okay, so we can actually use images HTML to reference that image. So if I copy that HTML at the top and I paste it into the source and save, we get Nyan Cat as a background, okay? You don't have to type anything in, it'll just give you that image.
What about GIF?
A GIF? So go back to reveal. They'll tell you exactly how to do a GIF. If we go down, you can do video backgrounds. Now, when you do a video background, the video has to be on your hard drive. But if we grab a GIF, I guess it's fortunate that I looked for Nyan Cat, right? So we copy the GIF. All a GIF is also an image file, so it should work. We'll save that, and we're going to have this jarring GIF in our background. Cool? I guarantee if you try and use GIFs and you chuck them in the background of this website, you throw this on any computer, or mobile phone, or tablet, it'll run, right? I've never seen someone move a PowerPoint from one computer to another, try and run the bloody video, and it work. I've never seen it work. It's usually fucked. Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you've had issues in the past like that? Every day?
Every presentation.
You have like a video and it doesn't work?
Yes.
Okay. So if we had it, so for example, the website the first lecture that I ever did for you guys, it had a video in the background, and that's like saved on my server, and it runs if it opens. There it is. And it just takes a while to download, but it runs eventually. Come on. Mind you, if you're running this from a local machine, it doesn't have to download it, so that works. But basically, you've got a video, save it as a WebM or an MP4, and basically just follow the same rules that Reveal sort of says here. So you just go data background video, and see this sort of location where it says video 4 or video WebM, you just need to save that file into your folder structure. And when it comes to referencing which file you want to use, so let's say you've got a folder with all your images in it. So let's make one. So images, I'll go download one instead of referencing it. If I can spell architecture. I'm not seeing any awesome architecture. I'll go download your pictures, Danielle. This is cool. So save the image. We're going to save that to, put that in documents, UNSW, presentation, images. And I'm just going to name that steps. This is an Indian well, like where they used to go collect water. Am I right? Yeah. So in here, instead of using the Nyan Cat GIF, we're going to write images, which is the location of the folder because it's in the same location as our index. And then I'm going to look for steps.jpg. And now when I run my page, it throws that in as a background. Cool. I'll just leave that up. Does that make sense? You guys should be able to put together basically any PowerPoint that you would normally put together using this now. Like it's pretty straightforward. It seemed a bit daunting when I mentioned it at the beginning, but now it's like, yeah, that's easy. No, it still seems hard. Anyone? No one? Yeah, good? Good, okay. Normally Sheldon's like, yeah, but you're not willing to commit right now, are you?
I haven't done that yet.
Let's do this in the tutorial today. Like, let's get a few pages up, and you'll see, like, we'll get it all working for everyone, okay? Cool?
Do you also mark the script?
No, I don't really care about the background.
So you can actually cheat.
Cheat? How are you going to cheat?
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, the thing is, now I'm going to go look at yours.
Oh.
How would you cheat?
I want to know how you would cheat.
Yeah.
Without coding and get an HTML up.
How would you do that? You're going to go to their editor and pay money.
I might
Ask
do
them for
it.
the script.
Huh?
I might do it.
How would you do it without writing code?
Weeks. Download a template.
Yeah, that's it.
And just copy paste.
But that's what this is. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. The whole point of this is we're using someone else. Someone's made a really nice JavaScript code, right? And we can use it. Yeah. The same applies with Grasshopper. Someone's made a really nice CAD editing code, and we're just using that as a framework. Like you don't understand all the bytes and stuff that's happening in behind, right? But you know, to make your presentation look good and work, you have to understand like relative folder locations, how to start, like how to pick a CSS. Yeah? Like if you want to make it look your particular way, you're going to have to write your own CSS. So, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't expect, like whatever you think's cheating is probably not cheating.
No, it definitely is.
It's cheating? Is it using like Google Slides or something?
No, it's just like there's no coding at all, but still get it into HTML.
Dreamweaver?
No,
Okay. If you guys know of a way of making a website without making HTML, go for it. But good luck installing Reveal and using Reveal.
yeah, I'll still use Reveal.
But you're not going to write any HTML.
I will. I won't do the cheat way.
Okay.
That people can. I feel like there is a potential for.
I think what you define as coding and what is not coding is actually coding.
This doesn't code like you. Oh no.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like if you think that you can make this without coding, it's actually it's still coding.
The content is not coded.
Oh yeah, well, like as in you go through and manually write everything in.
No, as in like the content, your actual presentation is not coded,
Right.
but the platform is coded.
I'll work out what you mean when you submit. Okay, I'll try to work that out. Are you guys should we go upstairs and try get this started? Yeah?